Hi, everybody. This is Jeff Baller with the Apartment Owners Association, and it is great to have you with us today. We're talking about rent reporting and who's exempt, who is subject to it, and what you need to do. So glad to have you with us today. If you're watching from AOAUSA.com, there is a little blue help button, and you can put your questions in there. But if you could save your questions to the end, maybe I'll answer your question before we're finished here. And then when we do finish, you can ask your questions and we'll go from there. So yeah, and I do just want to say we did just have a great live stream with Helen Fowler of One Structural, and they do ADUs and all kinds of other stuff. So you could check that video out. Tomorrow, we have Dennis Block live, and he's going to be covering Just Cause Ordinance for Los Angeles. This video specifically, rent reporting, AB 2747 applies to everybody in the entire state. And I know on April 10th, we're going to have Mike Brennan speak in the live stream. And then on April 16th, we're going to have the LA, at the LA Convention Center, we're going to have the LA $1 million trade show, and it's going to be awesome. We'll have over 20 different speakers, and lots of vendors and contractors are going to be on the floor, and you'll be able to ask them questions all day long. There'll be attorneys there. There'll be all different professions that relate to the rental housing industry. So that's going to be a great time. If you've never been a member, you get a free 6-month membership. And anyway, so I really look forward to seeing you there. And now I'll go ahead and let me see, try to share my screen for the rent reporting. Let's see, I have it shared. There we go. All right, so we're going to go through the rent reporting. And basically the first question we want to ask is, who's subject to this thing? And we're just going to put out the law here for you. It says that this section shall not apply to either of the following. So these two it does not apply to. Landlords who have 15 or fewer units. 15 or fewer units. So if your one property has more than 15, so 16, one 16-unit building. So it's not adding them all up across 5 different properties. It's one building. So if you have 15 units or less, you are exempt. Also, assisted housing is exempt from this. And the reason why assisted housing is exempt from this specific law is because there's already another one in place that applies to assisted housing, and it's already been required for a couple of years that you offer them full rent reporting. And so that's something some of them may, yeah. And so you have 2 different things going on. One is positive rent reporting, which is 2747, and then the other is the full rent reporting. And so it doesn't apply to the landlords with 15 units or less, or the assisted housing. And then there's one other little part that I want to hit, and it's not exempt if also these 2 other things apply. Or yeah, you're not exempt if these 2 other things apply. So if you have 15 units or less, if these things apply to you, then you would have to offer it. So number 1, you own more than one building. So many of you do own 15 units or more or less, and you have other buildings. But also you have to be one of the following: a real estate investment trust as defined by Section 856 of Title 26 of the United States Code, a corporation, an LLC that has at least one member as a corporation. So most of you, this is just not going to apply to if you don't have a building that has 16 units or more in it. So a lot of you, you're totally exempt. And that was like the big question that you're wondering about. So again, if you have a 16-unit building, one property that has 16 units on it, you are subject to it. If you have a 15-unit building or lots of different properties with any number of units, you're exempt unless, like I said, it's part of a corporation. And yeah, so that's what, so that's the main thing that you need to know. And AOA does have a couple rent reporting solutions for you. And so those of you that do want it, and I will, by the way, I will say, no one likes being told what to do. And this law it's forcing something on all of us. And I don't agree with the government forcing stuff on us. And we constantly fight for property rights. And we just think this is totally an overreach. But at the same time, since it has to be done, we can look on the bright side. And so the bright side of it is a lot of larger property management companies offer this. It's just kind of built into what they're doing. And it's a great way to reward your good tenants that are paying on time. So this helps them build credit. And then if you take a step back further, besides just rewarding the people that are, you know, doing great with you, think about it like this. There are younger people that are amassing wealth and one day they'll buy a house. And so helping them build their credit, excuse me, is going to help them to one day buy a house. And that's part of what the American dream is. And so we'd love to see it where people come in, they pay the rent, they build up their credit, they get enough money to put a down payment on a house and just cycle through the process and then bring in another person. That's what we would love to see. And so that's the positive side of this. But of course, just having to comply with it is it's just one more thing to have to worry about. I understand that it can be a hassle. So we have two different types of service. One is the white glove rent reporting. And so basically, you can have AOA do most of the work for you. We charge $5 per renter, but basically there's a whole process here because just because you have a 16-unit building, or maybe it's 100 units, doesn't mean that anybody wants to opt into this. It's not necessarily always popular. It's popular really among a segment of people that's trying to build their credit. And so number one, first step is to just offer the rent reporting to your residents. And the way the law is written, it says either first class mail or by email. So just send people an email. And you can include Form 127A. That's the form for positive rent reporting. You can download that from your member account under the forms. That's Form 127A. And save the email and just keep that saved, organized, and offer it yearly. And whenever at the inception of the lease, yearly, just remember to do this. So you send an email out offering a rent reporting service. And then if anyone does get back to you, so that 127A, this is one of the questions that I'll answer now. We're charging you $5, but your actual cost might be more than that because there's labor involved in getting and just you complying with it and getting the data to us. So we're aware of that. So you put in the amount that you want to charge, but it really needs to be what your cost is. It's not supposed to be, it's not a moneymaker. The way the bill's written, it's really just what your cost is. So step two, you get that information back. So you have the filled out, signed Form 127A, and then you have a copy of their photo ID. So usually that's going to be a driver's license. And those two things along with, those are the two things that you need for each of your renters, and then also you need a rent roll and just the resident information. So those are the things that we would need from you. Before we do that, we also need to verify your identity. And so I should share my screen on that because share a different thing here. So if you are an AOA member, you're wanting to do the white glove, if you already have AOA tenant screening set up, you've been verified already. So we don't need to re-verify the fact that you're who you say you are and that you have rental property. If you haven't gone through that process, you would hit the verify ID and see you hover over that. And then basically this is a little tool that TransUnion has, and it just verifies your identification without you having to send us a driver's license and a phone bill that has the address, an address that matches your driver's license, and the bank statement. This kind of makes it easier. So you fill this out and you submit it, and that verifies your identification. So in addition to that, right under Verify ID, you upload documents. And so here, this is where you would securely upload those files, so the 127A, the ID for, the picture ID of the resident, your, and then also for you verified your identification, but also ownership of a building. So like a property tax bill, apartment insurance bill, anything like that on the building itself, then you're verified. And so all those are the documents that you need. And so I will go back to this one. There we go. Oh, so there we go. So here it is. Start reporting. So you verify your identity, upload ownership documents, upload completed forms by the residents and the rent roll, all that. And then you get started, and then we would just bill you monthly on that every month that they're using it. And if every month that you're using it, and then let's say that they don't pay the rent on time, well, just email us, let us know. We won't charge you because we're not going to be reporting anything. And so if it's a 127A where it's positive rent reporting, we just won't report that if they're late, unless you want us to report that they paid. You could do that if you want, or if you just would rather not do it, then also that works. So you don't have to report it if they're late. And if they don't pay at all, definitely just let us know they didn't pay. And then we won't, basically not reporting means that line stops there. And so that's white glove. And then there's also rent reporting with PMC or Property Manager Cloud. Now this is for people, the AOA members that are using the software, and there are a considerable number of people that are using it. And so there's these process here, but so this is Property Manager Cloud. There's not much in this one, just for demonstration purposes. Want to show it to you. So basically you go to settings if you're using Property Manager Cloud. And I guess before you go to settings, what I would say is you would have a property that's in there, and you'd have your residents in there, and you would fill out a lease. So there's the different information that's in there. Once you have that information in there, then you will go to settings. And at the bottom, there's account verification. And so here we are with this account. It lists out what you need. And so basically what I shared already, you can verify ID in your AOA member account or just follow these directions. And I'll do an upload here. And I'm going to pick a folder to upload from. I'm going to go to my desktop. And I have some verification files. I'm going to upload these guys. And so we've uploaded these different forms. And then I'm going to request rent reporting. and send that off. And then basically our team takes it from there, compliance team takes it, and then we let you know that your account's been verified. And so I'm going to close this one. And then once your account's been verified, then it'll look like this. You'll go to settings again. And if you scroll all the way down to rent reporting, you'll see that all this is just really easy to do, streamlined. So there's the California assisted housing. That's if you're dealing with Section 8. Here's the California positive rent reporting. I'm going to click on that one. And then the purpose of it, just putting rent reporting. I'm going to agree to all this and sign online. And then rent reporting's been set up. And then now I just go through the document. I'm going to pick this signature and I'm going to sign it online. I'm going to sign every single page of it. And it goes through page by page, signing it. And that's a lot of pages. So you're going to get through all this stuff, page by page. And we made it page by page because we wanted, we just thought it was important for people to see every page of the document. I think it would be important to read it, but just for now, we're just going to do that. And here, the last little thing, allow tenants the ability to opt in, and then I'm going to hit save. And then now the account is set up. And then from here, what you would do, you would send out an email to the renters. And we have this form email for you. And basically, it just kind of outlines what they need to do, how they enroll. If you are using Property Manager Cloud, hopefully you've activated tenant portals for everybody. They would just go in and then they would select that. And what we're going to do is actually with this one, it's going to be free for them as long as they pay the rent. And so we're hoping that that's a little bit of an incentive for them. And as long as you're using Property Manager Cloud and they've opted in and they're paying the rent, it's going to be free for them. And in addition to that, we're also giving them a $10 Amazon gift card just for a short period of time. And so if you're interested in doing this and you're not subscribed to Property Manager Cloud, what you could do, I'll show you how to get there. If you guys could share my screen one more. Oh, do I need to share it again? Yeah, I'll share my screen again. Okay. And so most of you are familiar with the AOA website. And so there's a lot of different ways to get there. You can find it under member benefits, but you can also just scroll straight down the page. And once you get past the events, lots of events, then you'll see the AOA property management software, and then you can subscribe, get set up, and we take your questions and do an onboarding call with you. You can schedule a demo if you'd like, and to get that started. So basically, $5 per tenant if you do the white glove, free if you do it the other way, plus your residents get a $10 Amazon gift card after the first month of completing completing everything. So yes, so that is the deal. Let me see. I think we can go ahead and I'll stop sharing. Boom. Okay, great. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me on that. Sometimes it's hard to navigate everything when there's so many different things, so many different windows that are open, and trying to figure everything out. And anyway, so again, this is available to anybody who wants it, but it is required for those of you that have one building that is 16 units or more. And so I'll go ahead and take some questions. So again, if you're on AOAUSA.com, there's the blue help button, and I can answer your question there. And also just in the chat, we can answer questions. So here, let me take a look. Oh, okay. Is there any way to report no payment for a 2-unit duplex. Okay, so the way the law is written, it says it's positive rental payments only. And this offer needs to be made. And I've hired an attorney to see if there's any way that we can offer first and then have them also at least opt in, enroll for free for positive and negative. But the way that I see it so far, the way that attorneys have what they've told me is that it's only the positive. What I will say is once they've moved out of the unit, at that point, it's not rent reporting, it's debt collection. And the part of debt collection process um, is that that non-payment is put onto their credit report, and they have 30 days to dispute it and everything. But that does happen. So debt collection is kind of what happens after they move out. Rent reporting is for when they're there. And so do we need to upload resident data monthly? Yes. So basically for us to be able to report, if you're using the AOA White Glove, for us to be able to report data to TransUnion, we need to know if they paid and if they paid on time and everything. So we need to know that. And if you're using the software is great because it's generating a balance, but you still need to go in and record the payment unless you have online rental payments set up and those payments are being recorded automatically. But still, you have the work of making sure that the data is right before we get to it. Okay, how do you handle a situation where there are 2 roommates in one unit and each pays their half separately? One pays on time, but the other does not. Do you set up 2 tenants for the same unit? That's a really good question. And so basically, it's up to you. Usually, one lease, you have 2 people on one lease. So the one that's not paying their half on time is really hurting the other one. But you could report just the good part of what that one tenant is paying. You could do that. So it depends. What you report to us is what we will report to TransUnion. So you could do that for the good one. But really, legally, if you look at a lease, both of them are on the lease, both of them are obligated. So when one of them doesn't pay, it means that they're both late, right? And they're both delinquent, unfortunately. Okay. I have a 5-unit apartment complex. It's in a revocable trust. Do I have to offer rent credit reporting? And the way that it was written there, it's if there's a corporation that's involved. So a trust is not going to trigger it. Am I allowed to report rent payment even if I'm exempt? Yes, you can report it. If a tenant's consent required for, okay, is tenant's consent required for negative rent reporting using AOA's white glove service? So by the law, the way that it's written, you have to offer positive rent reporting. And unless they are in assisted housing, at that point, you can offer them the full, and it's that Form 127B. Okay. What are the requirements if you have a 6-unit building and a single family home in California, but 9 units in Arizona? So again, you have more than 16 units, but you don't have a single property that has 16 units on it in California. So you're exempt from it. And but again, like I think it's a great tool to reward your good residents. Okay, which compliance reporting agency, consumer reporting agency? Yeah, we are using TransUnion. And TransUnion is the one that does take positive and negative. From what I've seen with Experian, they only take the positive. Okay. Does a tax credit property fall under AB 2747? Tax credit property. So if you mean it's like a government-backed loan, then yes, it would fall under the assisted housing one. Tax credit property, I'm not really sure 100% what you mean by that, but if it's assisted housing, government-backed loan, and it's 16 units, then Section 8, those are the different ones that would fall under the other rent reporting, the full rent reporting. But yeah, okay, since this is a benefit for the tenant, are we allowed to change them to charge them the monthly fee? Yes. So according to the law here, yeah, you pass the fee on to them, and it needs to be your actual cost. So this is not an income stream, but it's really what your actual cost is. So if AOA is charging you $5 and you're paying somebody or you're paying yourself an hourly rate, how much time is it taking you to do that? You can pass that charge on to them. Since this is a benefit, okay, yeah, we already asked them. So yeah, so you pass that charge on to them. And with this, yeah, so you pass that on to them. So those are, I know I answered some of those questions. And let's see, there's also, I can just share my screen. If any of you would like the letter that for the if you want more information on the white glove, just email us at the propertymanagercloud.com, or I'm sorry, help@propertymanagercloud.com. Hold on a second. Let me share my screen one last time. Okay, wait, there's another question. Can both husband and wife get individual positive credit reporting? Yes, they can. Yeah, so they both can build credit at the same time. That's a good question. Let me see. This is what I want to share. Yeah, do I really need to share that? Yeah. Yeah, so email us at help@propertymanagercloud.com. Help@propertymanagercloud.com if you would like information about the white glove and the form that goes with that. And then also, yeah, and then, yeah, let's see what else we have here. Can we deny tenants who owe COVID rent or have balances for not paying RSO SCEP fees or other charges? Yeah, so this is only related to rent. So if they have balances from before, then that would reflect on the rent roll that you give us. So yeah, they wouldn't, I think, yeah, they wouldn't qualify for it. I think you have to, so it's interesting. Do you offer it to someone who doesn't qualify? I think on your end, offer it, but then they don't qualify. Maybe that would be a safe way to do it. You could offer it, but they have back rent, so they're not going to actually. TransUnion won't report it. No one will report it. Okay, any doc from credit bureau stating positive rent reporting help increase credit score? Yes, it does, and especially over time, like it really can boost their score. From what I've seen literature that says anywhere from 20 to 50 points, and it really depends. I mean, if they already have a 750, it's not going to help them that much, but yeah, it'd be great. Okay, so how do I report positive credit without using AOA? And so there are other software companies that are out there that will charge a fee and you can report it to them. Does a VA loan require to provide the service? And so a VA loan, that's a government-backed loan. So that's a VA loan. It's not going to fall under AB 2747, but it's going to fall under the other one. And maybe it's right now, I can't remember, maybe it's 311, but you would offer them the Form 127A. So it's full rent reporting. It's both positive and negative. So you'd be able to offer that one. Let's see. Is it true that landlords can't report rent payments directly to the credit bureaus and need to use a third party? From what I understand, they want, with this, they want 100 renters. That's kind of like their base. So I don't think they're taking just one person. I think, from what I understand, they're taking they'll take a file from you if you have 100, but I'm not 100% sure on it. You could check with TransUnion or Experian and ask them if they have a solution, but I'm not aware of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Let's see. All right, so those, I hope that answered a lot of the questions. And again, so there's, what you need to do is just get an email out. Just get an email out offering it, see if anybody wants to do it, have them complete that 127A, have them give you a photocopy of their ID, and then we can help get you set up on that. Or, yeah, find another resource, but just get it done before April 1st or by April 1st and do it yearly. And also, this changes the lease agreement too. So if, for those of you that have a 16 unit building or greater, it's something that needs to be in the lease. And so AOA is, I believe today we're uploading the website, because all leases starting April and moving forward need to have that new writing in it. And you know how the lease agreement has, whether you're subject to or exempt from AB 1482, it's similar where you mark a box either subject to or exempt from the 2747, that requirement. And so that will be an addition to the AOA lease. So that's in the new AOA lease, and I believe it's the large font, and the regular font edition, that one still needs just to be formatted and uploaded. So that should be up by the end of the week. And then it's in the Oakland and the San Francisco and the other city-specific ones, we have it in there as well, and it should be in there as of today. I know the programmer is putting that up in there today, and so yearly, you need to be able to offer that to everybody. And yeah, I think that's it. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call, and we appreciate you guys. We've had a lot of interaction with a lot of you regarding this already. A lot of people have called and asked about this. And anyway, I hope that clarifies things for you. And we just want to be able to provide a resource for you. And our goal is that you would be super successful in everything you're doing. And we hope that we can make it a little easier for you. Okay. Must we offer it to everyone by April 1st, existing tenants? And yeah, that's the thing. So this is for existing tenants. Offer it to your existing tenants. It's not just for every new lease. It's for everybody who's already there. Great question. So yes, everybody needs to be offered it. So email. If they don't have an email, then you have to put it needs to be a first class mail. Okay, if we have an 8-unit building and a 6-unit building held under a corporation, yes, then you would need to offer it. Not an LLC, but under a corporation, then yeah, you would be subject to it, and you would need to offer it to everybody. So that's, yeah, so it's kind of rare, but there's somebody watching that does actually fall subject to it. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, so that's it. Hopefully we've answered the questions, and we'll see you tomorrow. Dennis Block will be on, and so we'll take questions live then too, but that's gonna be more about the tenant protection ordinance in Los Angeles and how to comply with that. And again, thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.